lovely, sexy looking people doing? And remember, this stream is only for the sexy looking people. Yeah, there we go.
This dance ain't for everybody. Only the sexy people.
So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I thought it was kind of interesting to touch up maybe on the Wyckoff model, right? I know we have not been talking a lot about that, and I think a lot of you know what it is, the Wyckoff. What is it? The distribution and acquisition cycle, and it gained a lot of attraction, especially back in 2021. And I want to point that out because I believe that we actually did get in right at the right time, at the bottom. And I think actually the Wyckoff model is going to even, reiterate that. Furthermore, I did long time ago, I pointed out when I thought we were going to see the end of the bear market, approximately, right? I did hit for 12, we went to 15, but you got to be flexible. Today, I'm going to make my prediction for when we're going to see Bitcoin hitting its new all-time high, which I believe nothing less than 200,000 in October 2025. But of course, also, we're going to look at a bit of a few figures. And of course, we have to be adaptable. Anyway, we got lots of things to talk about, but I am optimistic and I'm happy. I'm really happy that I'm here, and especially that you are here, because Bitcoin, I think we are really going. One-way ticket to the blue. Yeah. So let me just hear, as always, when I come back, it always takes a little bit. The first stream is always going to be, all streams, we have a lot of boomer moments. Anyway, I think it's time to start, and I think it goes a little something like this. I want to welcome you to Crypto Never Sleeps. In case you're new to this channel, you want to stay on top of the crypto world, and then hit like, smash, and subscribe so that you can be notified every time we upload new videos, so that you can, and this is important to me, protect your wealth, preserve your wealth, and ultimately increase your wealth. My name is Nico Arachi, and I'm the host of the littlest crypto channel on the interweb. There we go. So, first things first, where are we? We're looking at the 15 minutes. Bitcoin, 27,000, up 27,267, up 0.49%. And then, look at that, Ethereum, 1,773, up 3.6%. And then we got Cardano, up 5%. And then we got those beautiful dots hovering again around the $6 area, up 3.45%. But as always, as we can see, it's funny, we can see here, even though it's the 15-minute chart, we can see at 9:45, that's, I think, GMT time, or my time. Yeah, it's my time. So that would be 6:45 GMT. We could see there was a spike all across the board, right? Even here in Polkadot. So again, it just goes to show that I still believe that the market is rigged, and that's also what actually Wyckoff not predicted, but verified. And as long as we know that, we know how to handle the markets. That's why I believe that, all my, let's say, my methodology is based on, what people are not saying. Remember, the system is rigged, and all politicians and investment bankers, all they do is lie, right? So we kind of like, that's what we are fighting against. Anyway, let's look here at why doesn't this look here? This again. Funny here. Looking at the weekly Bitcoin, and yeah, we can see with the 7-day moving average, we got that here. We can again see we are way above the 7-day moving average. It's been holding good, right? So ever since it moved above the 7-day moving average back here in January, we've been holding very, very nice, very good. What can we say? We're just geniuses, right? The 7-day moving average on the weekly. And the month is about to end, so let's see how that's gonna look. Even with the 7-day moving average on the monthly, it's looking sexy. It's looking sexy. And and let's see how it is on Ethereum. Ethereum is usually the same. See here, we got Ethereum. I want to look at the weekly. Yeah, same. Anyway, as long as we stay above the 7-day, you know what I think about that. And in case you really do want to learn a thing or two about technical, or not even technical trading, but what is making the market, demand and supply, right? And the market makers, it's all about liquidity. If you want to learn what is behind these candle charts, you go to Tino, you go to Traders Reality, and you will learn how they are manipulating the market.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a conversation. Mad love and respect to every single one of you beautiful people.
And we are at, the market cap is at 1.1 trillion. What I really like is, even though we've had bad news, and I'm not going to talk too much about Binance, right? Because I'm sure you read about it, and it's pretty straightforward, right? Binance, they're being sued by the CFTC, I think it is, the commodities regulator in the United States. And then you would wonder, I mean, today we can see Binance is up 1.8% over 7 days, only 7% down. And it's still the 4th largest coin by market cap. So I don't think, this could have been perceived as bad news, right? It could have been perceived as very bad news, but no, not really, right? Not really. Maybe here, if you look at the 7-day, it looks maybe not so sexy. But if we go in here and we look 1 year. Anyway, it hasn't been doing as bad as when we had bad news about FTX or Terra Luna, for that matter, because that was all fraud, right? And then you could argue that, the US regulators, they should maybe, even the regulated entities, they're actually the one who caused the most damage. I don't think this is good. Well, we saw it did not have a real impact on the market, and that's a good sign. It's a good sign. It also, it shows that there are not many sellers. There are really not many sellers. So that's how I see with Binance. I don't think that this is gonna be an overall bad thing. XRP. I know that some of you you love XRP. From my point of view, nothing has changed. But from my, I still think that XRP is, a bit of a shitcoin. Anyway, no, but what it can be very good for the overall industry. In case XRP are going to win, that's amazing news. That's amazing news. Now, I don't know, because I really do not follow XRP, and for me it's too intransparent. I don't believe that, especially, times have been bad for them. And also, if you go along the market cap, right? They have a market cap of 27 billion. So I know that many of you assume that when they're gonna win, this is just gonna go to the moon. But even if it were to double, right? To double, that would mean that we would have to see another 27 billion come in, and then you would double your money on that. I just think that the risk reward when it comes to XRP is for me, they're too risky. However, I think for the overall industry, it will be amazing. So I was thinking about another thing. Now, for this will have an immediate positive effect, obviously on XRP, but also on another coin, which is called Library. And I don't know if you guys, Library. It's LBRY. It's actually, it's like YouTube. That's what it is. What Library does is that you can upload and do everything there. We also have our site. I'm going to show you. You can see here. Actually, then they changed from Library, they changed to Odyssey. And what we do actually there, we also upload our videos. So in case, YouTube should ban us or close us down, then we have everything here. So library, or now called Odyssey, is actually, it's fantastic. It's just a sad thing that nobody's using it. But why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because Odyssey also received the same lawsuit that XRP did regarding the offering of their coins. And I don't know if we should see if we can find it somewhere. I think it's, and we can go in. I know where they're writing about it. If you go to CoinGecko, for example. Not Coin.Live, but CoinGecko. There we go. And then you go to another. And this coin, I mean, I'm just saying the risk reward potential is a lot higher here because Library's token is down 99.24%. So just imagine, right? And they have a market cap of 7 million. Now, of course, Library Odyssey is not, you cannot compare that with XRP, but I'm just saying the risk reward. And you can see when you go into CoinGecko, they have this disclaimer right on the front. Exercise caution when trading LBC, as SEC recently charged the company for conducting an unregistered offering of digital asset securities. And then you can go in and then you can then read that if that's something anybody's interested in. But what I just want to point out is that will also be positive for Library if XRP. So I just wanted to, you need to do your own research. Remember, everything I say and do here should not be taken as anything, because in the end of the day, I don't know shit about crypto. Yep, and then, what else is here to talk about? Remember, we were talking about that we added a new coin, right? And that is Pocket Network. And that's really been, it's been hit hard. I was trying to see if I could find some, some news, but it doesn't seem that there are any news. So I just want to let you know, in case you know there's something fishy is going on. It's now at 43, right? And we actually got in there. We started buying at 50. Now, of course, I'm averaging in, and I also announced that, getting it cheaper. But of course, I tried to see that I could not find any negative news there. If you look at it 1 year like that, you can see 180 days, and it is now down 98%. I mean, that goes to show that should Pocket Network, let's see, should Pocket Network go to its previous all-time high? I'm a big believer in Pocket Network. That would generate small 7,000% to all-time high. Anyway, as I said, don't take my words for anything. And now let's go and see if anybody is in the chit chat. Who is here on the littlest channel on the interweb? So, who is here? We got Blockchain Bully is here. Blockchain Bully, we got Boris, how are you doing? And we got Deviant Fox, Pop Smoke Real, I like that name. And Edward Knows. And who else? CryptoCurrencies, lots of good friends. Vax is here, and of course my soul brother Shader Mead, and Michael is here. And it is good to see all of you. And Ron, Jeremy, and Sandra, lots of love to all of you. Lots of love. Let me see if any of you, we got Zach here too, LD Percy, LD Pussy. And we got Atulvari, good to see you. I mean, it's old friends at Wall Street Bets here. They did a shit show on KuCoin. I don't believe what they say when it comes to their pumping event. Yeah, and what are you saying, Defiant Fox? SEC at this point is grabbing for straws, I think. Yeah, I will touch up on that just a little bit, but I think, yes, of course they are. But I also like what I think Ivan on Tech here on his stream today, he very much pointed out that it doesn't seem to be such an organized, let's say, organized plan to extinct crypto. And I would like to point out, the US government is not against crypto per se. They are very much for crypto. They are for the CBDC. They're very much for the technology, the blockchain technology. The only thing that they want is that it stays in their control, right? That's why they want to issue the CBDC. And once that is in circulation, well then, as long as they are the main issuer of their currency. That's what I think that is their plan. And in order to succeed with that, of course, we have to monopolize almost the banking system more. And I just want to point that out, because you could actually look at the banking failures that we have seen recently. We could see that as a scary news. But as I've been pointing out a bit in, especially last week, I've been pointing out that the continuation of having less banks is something that's been going on since since 18 something. Now we can see here since 1913, when we had almost 30,000 banks in the US, and it is now less than 4,000. So why I think it's almost like the Federal Reserve in some weird way is on our side. They want less banks around the world. That's why they want them to fail. That's why I also think that good old sleepy Uncle Joe came out and said, yeah, we're gonna, we'll make sure that the insurance fund will cover up to this, $250,000 per bank. Because they don't want to have any trouble with small investors, but they want this continuation of aggregating or monopolizing the banking industry. Reason being is that currently the way that the monetary system works is you got the Federal Reserve, right? You got the Federal Reserve, let's just say here on the left. They then issue money to the commercial banks, right? To the saving banks. And then the banks will then distribute that money to the people. That means you got the Federal Reserve, the central bank, and then you got these huge amounts of banks circulating the money into the economy and providing banking services. However, when we're going to see the CBDC being launched, we are not going to need the savings banks, the commercial banks. They're all going to go out of business. So the traditional banks are actually against the launch of a CBDC, where it would be the Federal Reserve issuing money. It would then be sent straight to people's wallet or to a commercial wallet from industries, and then we would have, as we can see, a curve balancer, synthetics. We would have these DeFi platforms doing what we actually refer to as traditional banking. So nobody would need the traditional banks, which is why the traditional banks would or don't want to see this new system of the CBDC being launched from the Federal Reserve circulated straight into the end wallet. So by letting many banks fail, they're being bought up. It will only be the main banks in every country. We even see this in Switzerland. Credit Suisse, the Credit Suisse went bankrupt, out of business. Is amazing, but still, UBS went in and took it over. And in America, it will also be the same. It will be, the remaining ones will be like Bank of America, especially JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and everything else. Even though they're big, they're gonna be sucked up by the big banks. And then these big banks like JP Morgan, UBS, let's see what's going to happen in Germany. Is it's going to be Commerzbank, because it looks like Deutsche Bank is also going out of business. Maybe a French bank will overtake then Deutsche Bank. It doesn't really matter. But we still need a few main banks in every country to then act as an on-ramp in order to go from traditional to digital. So that's what I think is the plan. Anyway, I just think I need to have a Bahama Mama moment, and then we're ready to go with why I believe that we are spot on with Wyckoff, and why I think that we're going to see 200,000 Bitcoin in October 2025. So, now remember, timing the market is always the most difficult thing. And especially last year, we were very much looking at the Bitcoin's historical corrections, right? Because we were trying to figure out when were we going to see the bottom. So we could see here that the last three corrections, they very much was, 14 months from 13 to 15, and then 12 months and 17 to 18. And then currently from 2021 to 2022, we had 12 months. So now that I do believe that we have seen the turnaround, I do believe that we are in the beginning of the third cycle, and I think it's going to last until 2025. So I made this new slide, and we're going to update it a little bit more. But if we go in here, I didn't take the day and the months, so it's roughly, but it's good enough, I feel. So we can see from 2010 to 2013, where in 2013 we saw Bitcoin hit its first high. It took 1,399 days. And then from 2013 to 2017, 1,461 days from the high in 2013 to its new all-time high. And I'm sure you remember when that was. Let's just go and have a quick look at that. Right, 2017 was when we saw Bitcoin hit, what was it, almost 20,000, right? There we go. You can see that was here, right? So we had this high in 2017. And then from 2017 to 2021, it was then 1,431 days. From one high to the next high, right? You can see that here from 17. I mean, you can see here, I mean, this is amazing, right? Here it looks very little, but this was actually the high in 2017 up to the next high. 1,431 days. So if we would take into consideration if this should match, and we would count from the 2021 high and go to and add 1,430 days, would take us to October 2025. Now, of course, we can then argue, and there can be many, I mean, I don't know, this is a very broad prediction, but in the past, when we have seen Bitcoin going from its previous all-time high to its new all-time high, it was roughly times 3. Roughly times 3. So if we see if the last all-time high was around 70,000 times 3, I think that 200,000 is probably 210,000, 200,000. I think that could be probably the goal. So this is a number one kind of prediction. No, I don't know. But this would be as good as it gets if the past history is any indication. And I gotta say, when it came to the corrections, it was very much in line, right? We got 77% when we hit the low in November 2022 of 15,000. Now, obviously, that was why I had thought we would go to the 12,000, because that would then be 81%. But in the end of the day, this, and I also told you guys, that is nothing you should really bank on. When we started saying Bitcoin went from 60, almost 70, if it was going to hit 15 or 12, it's not so much difference. And that's also when you see it here, right? So from its all-time high here, from almost 70, all the way down to 15, right? Now, banking on these last 12, and I think it's you, blockchain bully, right? You're the one you were hoping it was going to go down to 12. I really don't see that happening. So I hope that you have been averaging in. Let me know how that, if it was you, blockchain bully. So now, I'm sure all of you have heard about the Wyckoff price cycle, and it's not going to take so long. It'll take us 10 minutes, but I think there's some good points here. Now, as you can see, this was the latest picture I could find of Wyckoff here. And according to him, and according to him, the market can be understood and anticipated through detailed analysis of supply and demand. So it's all about supply and demand, which can be ascertained from studying price action, volume, and time. So price action, volume, and time, and supply and demand. So he used to work as a broker, and he was in a position to observe. And remember, at that time, right, we didn't have internet and computers, so he was sitting, with a ledger and a pen, and doing that. So anyway, he was in a position to observe the activities of highly successful individuals and groups who dominated specific issues. Now he's talking about the elite, right? He's talking about the market makers. He's talking about Wall Street, about JP Morgan. So he was able to observe individuals and groups who dominated specific issues. Consequently, he was also able to decipher via the use of what he called vertical bar and figure, point and figure charts, the future intentions of those large interests. An idealized schematic of how he conceptualized the large interest preparation for and execution of bull and bear markets is depicted in the figure below. The time to enter long orders is towards the end of the preparation for a price markup or bull market, accumulation of large lines of stock, while the time to initiate short positions is at the end of the preparation for price markdown. So this is basically how the Wyckoff price cycle. So he is, and that is also, remember, I've also many times, actually, I, use my words, and I'm a man of simple words. I used to say that when the milk lady and the postman, when they are also talking about, and my neighbor, when they're talking about buying Bitcoin and, calling me, that's when we sell. That's when we sell. And on the other hand, when the media and the press and even the milk lady and the postman, they are completely fed up with the markets. And when we are having blood on the street, complete blood on the street, FTX, we have had a lot of blood, right? Started with Terra Luna, and then there was, 3 arrows and some other ones, and then FTX. And most, all postmen and all milk ladies and Sister Shelly and Brother Jamal, they didn't want to know shit about crypto. Not at all. And even the media was starting to say how bad crypto is. However, that's when smart money moves in. That's when we moved in. That's when we decided to really buy. Now, we've been buying in the downwards cycle, right? Because we ultimately, we are not a prophet. We don't know. But we timed the market pretty damn well. When there was blood on the street and everybody told it's crazy to buy, that's when we entered the market. Exactly then we entered the market. And that is actually what Wyckoff's philosophy is all about. Now, I think I want to talk a little bit more about this here. We're going to look at it once in a while. I'm not going to read everything because obviously it's a lot, right? But we can see here the accumulation phase. It consists of phase A, B, C, D, E. And just to make it simple, I believe that we just had phase C. I believe that this is when we just entered the market. And Betty, she's been so kind and prepared a chart for us so we can actually use the Bitcoin chart. It took a lot of time to to get to write all these things. So thank you to Betty. But anyway, so in order to try to understand and clarify, how does it really work? And that's why I said I believe we are in the phase C. And you will also see here is here's the 1 second. Here's the phase C. I will just update it 1 second. Okay. It doesn't, I had put in, you can see here's phase E, so this is phase D, and this is phase C. There we go. There you go, there you can see it, this is phase C. So, why do I think that we are in phase C? Well, so the accumulation phase C is a phase that the stock price, the market price, the Bitcoin price goes through a decisive test of the remaining supply, allowing the smart money operators to ascertain whether the stock is ready to be marked up. As noted above, a spring is a price move below the support level of the trading range established in phase A and B that quickly reverses and moves back into the trading range. And if we look at that, you can see here. So we have here phase A and phase B. And what he's saying is that phase C is that we go below the trading range of A and B and then back up. And that leads us to phase D. But just to read C finished. So it is an example of a bear trap because the drop below support appears a signal resumption of the downtrend. In reality, though, this marks the beginning of a new uptrend, trapping the late sellers, the bears. You see, it's about convincing Sister Shelly and Brother Jamal that it's over. And this also comes in form of events, right? Market events like FTX. I mean, now everyone wanted to forget about crypto. So they were selling the last coins. But of course, there were somebody to sell it to, right? And that's the smart buyers, like you and I. So in Wyckoff's method, a successful test of supply represented by a spring or shakeout provides a high probability trading opportunity. A low volume spring or a low volume test of a shakeout indicates that the stock is likely to be ready to move up. So this is a good time to initiate at least partial long positions. Now he's maybe also referring to sometimes you can use his methodology. You can use it on short term or longer term. I mean, here we are using it on a longer term. So what you can see here is that basically we broke through the trading range of A and B, and then we in the phase D even went above. So when it comes to the phase D, if we are correct in our analysis, what should follow is the consistent dominance of demand and supply. So what he's also referring to here is that we need to see volume. We need to see that there is more volume coming in. And I'm just going to try here to see if I can add a volume here. 1 second. Bear with me 1 second then. Always, there we go. I don't know why these charts here, when I have to do it, it never works. Anyway, as you remember, no, here we go. Now I can show you. Very good. Here we have the volume increasing, right? So basically, if we refer to the Wyckoff, you can see that this here is the C phase, and we can really see that the volume has substantially increased. I think you're all aware of that. So, as I believe we're in the phase D, if we're correct in our analysis, what should follow is the consistent dominance of demand and supply. This is evidenced by a pattern of advances on widening price spreads and increasing volume, as well as reactions on smaller spreads and diminished volumes. During phase D, the price will move at least to the top of the trading range. In this phase, there are generally excellent places to initiate or add to a profitable long position. So he's saying here that in the phase D, we should break out of the trading range from phase A and B, which we have successfully done. So that's, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm really no Wyckoff specialist here, right? But I think it looks kind of not so bad. That's the way I would. Let me know what you think about our Wyckoff analysis. Then that's about it. That's it, guys. I think I'm done. So don't forget, sharing is caring, and please participate in our little giveaways. Oh no, not Prime XBT. No, that's an old one. There we go. So yeah, please. The link is down below, and participate. As I said, we're a very small channel. We will pick the winner on Friday, this Friday, and all you need to do is, I think, share and subscribe. It's very simple. And as I said, lots of good chances to win, since we are the littlest channel on the interweb. So if you have any questions, let me know. No faces here. Crypto millionaires here. Always good to have a millionaire here. Thorham, Federal Reserve's government, never our friend. Free greed is their friend. Yeah, no, the Federal Reserve is a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. But Inconnu, French, you're number one. Remember, I'm no one. CryptoStan is here. Yeah, Blockchain Bully wanted 8K, but I hope you got in. There we go. Blockchain Bully, our new administrator here. And what do you say, Leopoldo Gandara? Already, there we go. Leopoldo Gandara. I already bought the dip at 15 to 16. Now I'm in profit. Should I still hold my crypto or take a bit of profit? Well, I hope that with this stream here, I answered your question. I'm not a short-term trader. I also don't believe so. I don't believe in leverage, and I don't believe timing the market is the most difficult thing. I believe average in when we go down, and we will average out when we go up. And if anything, all these figures and numbers we've been speaking about today will be averaging out in 2025. I've always had this feeling about 2025. However, I know I've said this many times, but I do believe that more than ever, and that is actually the most difficult. For me, it's kind of easy to analyze the market psychology. You know, the mainstream media is lying. The Federal Reserve is a bunch of, greedy individuals that are controlling, the monetary system and the issuance of currency. But I find that easier to understand. Now it is really about identifying quality over quantity coins. We got them undervalued. And you see, that's also another thing why I believe that we are not wrong. Remember when we entered the market, I mean, these coins, they were not undervalued minus 50%. We got most of our coins somewhere between 75 and 94%. I mean, just think about it. When we were there in November and we saw 15,000 Bitcoin, the altcoins, top quality coins, down around 90%. I mean, how much further down could they go? So from that sense, you also need to be, or we need to be realistic. Sorry. Identifying new, the market leaders and the new trends. We have to look at AI, and we also have to get some coins related to health. And as always, we average in and out. So I hope that. Okay. Let me see here. CryptoCurrency. Lots of Binance FOD. Yeah, but it's not really having such a bad impact. I think Binance will bring the market down. Well, I mean, remember, Also, Binance, their revenue and the stream of revenue from the US is very small. Binance is a huge organization, and their main sources of income and revenue is everywhere else than in the US. So, and then should something happen to Binance, remember the future finance is being built in front of our eyes, and it's being built on the blockchain, and it will. It's an evolution of technology. The Web 3.0 is coming with or without Binance. Should Binance fail, well, then there will be many other exchanges that will take over Binance's place. It's just like FTX or Terra. I mean, it has nothing to do in the grand scheme of things. So, what do you say? You leave gaming out completely? No. That's, we can also go, I'm not leaving out gaming, but it's like I have, like Wyckoff, he has his accumulation and distribution scheme. You know, number one, he has his own scheme when it comes to cryptocurrencies. And right now, I believe that it is important to go in and get the blue chips. You're never going to get a compound or a curve or a synthetics at 80, between 70 and 95% discount. These are the true top quality market leaders. So when money is going to enter into the cryptocurrency space, first it's going to go into Bitcoin and the top blue chip altcoins. And once people have made money there, then it's going to trickle down to, let's say, more risk-related coins. And I do see gaming coins as that's like meme coins and shit like that. So I think we're going to focus and concentrate on that once we have, let's say, probably once we're going to hit the previous all-time high of Bitcoin around the 60, 70,000. That's when we're going to do, let's say, monkey business and go in and buy lots of new shit and ride the wave up to the 200,000 Bitcoin. So currently, no, I'm not so much into gaming coins. I mean, what are we holding? We're holding Engine, of course, and of course we also have we still have our gaming portfolio. That's actually also sometimes interesting to see, because I never remember we participated in all those. We participate in all those IGOs, initial gaming offering, and here, let's see here. And you can see that if we go in and look, this was also interesting. This portfolio at its all-time high was almost valued at $500,000. Now remember, we made our, not me, I own nothing, I'm okay, happy. Betty owns it all, right? But Betty made all the money on the launch pads itself. So we made, I think we made around $500,000, also around something like that for Betty, just by holding the launch pad coins. Now, and we participated in all the IGOs we could. And look at this, our portfolio is extensive. We didn't sell any. And I mean, look at that. We got more than 50 shit coins. But if you go through them, and you can see here on the right side, you can see they're all down. I mean, Engine Starter down 96%, 97 to Solanium, Red Kite down 88%, Card Starter 90. I mean, look at this, 98, 99, 97, 96, 90. And this is the price, this is the price from what we got them. This was the IGO price, not even the all-time high price. I mean, so, you know, I don't know if it would be fun to see in 2025 if any of these coins are really gonna make a difference. And remember, the one only Blocktopia is up 7,752%. So with that alone, we make. I mean, Blocktopia is also the only position we actually did sell some of. I gotta admit, all the others not. So that's about that. Let me see. I love when there's some questions, guys. I miss you, and not miss you. I'm happy you're here, and also, you know, some people say it's great to be a YouTuber. Well, certainly not for the money. I mean, since we started here, I think we've made $5,000. Okay, Gala and Finn. Yeah, hey Eddie, good to see you. Gala, I love Gala, and we also bought Gala. We entered Gala, and we also actually hold one something, one NFT in Monsterland or something it's called. I don't know, Finn. Let me look at that. But Gala is, I think, has actually. Let's just look at Gala. I just want to see. 1 second. We should see. I just want to see how much down it is from its all-time high in Gala and where it is now. But I love Gala. I mean, that's not a shit gaming coin. That's a fantastic. Fantastic. I think so much potential. So here we can see Gala is currently down 95% from its previous all-time high. Now, remember in the beginning, I said I believe that we're going to see Bitcoin hit its high in October 2025, and usually you would see Bitcoin increasing 3 times the last price, which so 70,000 probably go to 210,000. I also see that by many blue chip altcoins, that I would anticipate that they will go 3 times higher. Of course, when it comes to lower market cap coins and also gaming coins, it could be even more. But here we go. So Gala, I like Gala. I don't know Finn. This one, Finn. I don't know that one. I have to look at it. But is it? Anyway, maybe if it's worth looking at. So I can't say it. I don't know. That's about that. Are you keeping your Gala on the exchange or me? I have to check up. I haven't even looked at Gala. I think actually Gala, I keep it on the exchange. Maybe I shouldn't, but yeah. By the way, remember this library, LBC, ODC. I think there could be some good opportunity there. And I'm gonna put some risk. I mean, this is money I can, throw away. Don't even know that I have him. Very risky. But let's look at library credits or ODC where you can buy them. Bittrex, CoinX, and Hotbit. Yeah, let's see. Just lost it all starting. What do you say, Edward? No. Let me see. What are you saying? What did you lose? Just lost it all and starting with a clean sheet on low budget, got scammed. Oof, we all did that. We all got scammed. I mean, even here, I got fished when I started the YouTube channel. I wanted to, show everything, and then this computer here got, fished, and it was terrible. But a star, a star target. No, when it comes to it's difficult to say, because I think with a star, but I just think a star is fantastic. A star is probably one of the dots that are working with some of the biggest, international known legacy companies, right? So, I mean, a star is just gonna, all we can say about a star is it's probably, Okay, guy, Filecoin, Leopoldo Candrea, Filecoin is a good thing. You see, the Web 3.0 needs storage, right? And decentralized storage is going to be, I think, decentralized storage and decentralized identity on the blockchain, and also Pocket Network. I really think, we need these infrastructure coins. And Filecoin is obviously the oldest, the largest, the biggest decentralized storage provider. However, when it comes to decentralized storage, I think that the best thing is to diversify. And I would buy their Arweave, Filecoin, Seacoin, and of course, Cross Network. Because I think Cross Network has such a low market cap, and I think that's going to be one of the bigger decentralized storage providers for the Polkadot ecosystem. So, but yeah. So, but I'm not sure if we go to $110 if we get a strong dot narrative. No, I think Polkadot is going to. I believe that kind of like Ethereum is the settlement layer, right? I also think that the CBDCs all being built on Ethereum, some permissioned versions and some not. But I think the Polkadot ecosystem is going to it's kind of like the enterprise level. So I think settlement banking CBDC is Ethereum, and then I think that the enterprise is of course also Polygon. But I think a lot of good things is going to come from Polkadot. I mean, Polkadot, love Polkadot. Polkadot, we're gonna do a Polkadot stream tomorrow, right? Because we need to let the chaos begin. Okay, guys, I am happy you were here, and that's all I gotta say. I love you all, and yeah, that's it. Stay as you are. See you tomorrow, and and today I'm just gonna leave you with the 2 minutes of my beautiful boys and the limited time I did spend with them.